Hello class, this is Professor Robert Matos again, and today we are presenting a video corresponding to Unit 4 in our class program for the English grammar classes. Today we're going to be covering clauses and the sentence structure. Okay, this is the first video of this unit. Okay, in this short video we're going to cover a definition of the sentence and the clause. Also, we're going to see what's the difference between main clauses and subordinate clauses. This is the purpose of this video. I hope you enjoy them. Okay? First thing I would like you to do is look at the examples I'm providing. I have two sentences here on the right. First one is Laurie walked the dog. This is a complete sentence because it expresses a complete thought. Okay? What is the difference between a sentence and a clause? Where is the clause in this first sentence? The clause contains a subject and a predicate. If you say Laurie walk the dog, Laurie is the subject and walk the dog is the predicate. So this is also a clause. So this sentence is also a clause. Let's say that it is a sentence that contains one clause, but there's something. One sentence can contain more than one clause. Let's look at the second example. Laurie walked the dog when she saw it was sad. You see? The first clause, Laurie walked the dog, contains the subject and the predicate. And the other clause, when she saw it was sad, contains also a subject, which is she, and a predicate. So, it was sad. Okay? So, the second sentence contains two clauses. We can say that one clause is part of a sentence. But there are still two different types of clauses that I want to illustrate with this example here. If you read the definition as we have it in the book, a clause is a group of words that has a subject and a predicate and functions as part of a sentence or has a whole sentence. We have already covered this through the examples. Also, clauses fall into two categories. Main clauses, which are also called independent clauses, and subordinate clauses, which are also called dependent clauses. Okay? A main clause has a subject and a predicate and expresses a complete thought. It is the only type of clause that can stand alone as a sentence. So one other difference between a sentence and a clause is that the clause not always expresses a complete thought. Let's look at the examples again. Example number 2. Laurie walked the dog. This is a clause that expresses a complete thought. So this type of clause is independent because it can become a sentence on its own. However, the second clause, when she saw it was sad, is incomplete because when you say when she saw it was sad, there's something missing. If somebody tells you that, then you go like, oh, what? There's something missing. There's missing information that is completed with the independent clause. That's why we have these two types of clauses, independent clauses and dependent clauses. Also, I want you to notice the particle when here. When is what we call a subordinator. Okay? a subordinator. This word subordinates this sentence that otherwise might be independent. She saw it was sad. Expresses a complete thought. But if we add when she saw it was sad, when we add the particle when, then the sentence becomes incomplete. So that's a way for you to convert independent sentences into dependent ones. Okay? However, every sentence must have at least one independent clause so that the meaning is complete. Now let's move on and see how different types of clauses combine and make different types of sentences. We're going to cover coordination when we connect two independent clauses, and we will cover subordination when we connect one independent clause to a dependent one. And what about mixing it up? Let's see how it goes. Okay, coordination. You coordinate two clauses that are independent with coordinating conjunctions or other connectors. Okay, Laurie took her dog to the store and she bought him treats. Laurie took the dog to the store is an independent clause, and she bought him treats is also an independent clause. We use coordinating conjunctions very commonly to connect this type of clauses. Okay, for you to know which are the coordinating conjunctions, I want you to look at the mnemonics fanboys. Fanboys, in this word, you see that each one of the letters stands for one of the coordinating conjunctions. They are 7 in total. So you see F stands for, A stands for and so on. Fanboys. And the coordinating conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Okay? Let's see other examples. Laurie took her dog to the store, but she did not buy him treats. So you see, she did not buy him treats expresses a complete thought. Laurie didn't take her dog to the store, nor she bought him treats. You see, both clauses express complete thoughts. There are other types of connectors that we can use to join two independent clauses, such as the conjunctive adverbs. And there's a tricky thing about the conjunctive adverbs, and it is that they show a stronger relationship, but in a sense, they do the same as the coordinating conjunctions. So if I say but, which is very common, okay, instead of saying however, it sounds more familiar. But when you say however, it like puts emphasis on what you are saying. For example, if I say Laurie took her dog to the store, but she did not buy him treats, it sounds normal, right? And you understand. But when you say however instead of but, it sounds stronger. Listen to this. Laurie took her dog to the store. However, she did not buy him treats. Maybe that was expected or something, so it might imply some extra meaning. Okay? Let's move on. In subordination, when we talk about subordination, we have two or more clauses in a sentence, but there's one of them that is dependent. So that dependent clause, which meaning is not complete, needs from the other clauses so that it can express a complete thought. So let's see. A subordinate clause has a subject and a predicate, but that does not express a complete thought, so it cannot stand alone as a sentence. There are three types of subordinating clauses. We have adjective clauses, which modify nouns or pronouns, adverb clauses, which modify verbs, adjectives or adverbs, and noun clauses, which functions as nouns. Easy? Okay? Look at the connectors we use here. We don't use coordinating connectors. We use subordinating connectors. Because in coordination, you coordinate because they have the same grammatical way. So they are equal. Lottie walked the dog. She didn't buy him treats. They are equal because they can be separated and they are independent sentences. But here, there are some clauses that cannot be separated. They lose the sentence, the meaning. Okay? A subordinate clause, if you read here in the book, is depending on the rest of the sentence because a subordinate clause does not make sense by itself. A subordinating conjunction or a relative pronoun usually introduces a subordinate clause. And one thing is that these words become part of the clause they are subordinating to the independent one. Okay? An example I provide here is Lori and Ziki walk to the park where Ziki always runs and plays. Where is the subordinator for the second clause? Where Ziki always runs and plays. What? Lori and Ziki walk to the park where Ziki always runs and plays. Where Ziki always runs and plays. All these functions as an adjective clause. It is an adjective saying which park we are talking about. So all these clause is functioning as an adjective, so we can call it an adjective clause identifying the word park. Okay? You see all the connectors you can use. Let's see another example. When I get money, I feel powerful and happy. I can say I feel powerful and happy, and that expresses a complete thought. But if I say when I get money, I'm not expressing a complete thought. So something else is expected for me to convey a complete thought. Still another. If you plan on passing this subject, you need to study hard. The same thing. If you plan on passing this subject, if I tell you this, then you'll be expecting me to say what you need to do, but I didn't say it. Even though you have a subject, you have a verb, plan, and all the remaining words that accompany the verb to make the predicate. So you have subject and predicate, but you have a subordinator, the word if here, okay? If is a subordinating conjunction. You can see here in the list. Okay, same as when I get money. I get money. I get money. I get money. That expresses a complete thought. But if I say when I get money, it's incomplete. The word when is a subordinator that makes it incomplete. Oh, that was supposed to be the dog, okay? The same thing, okay? Now I want to move into a different part of this lesson. When you combine words by coordinating, when you combine clauses into sentences, depending on that of using coordination, subordination, or using both of them, we classify the sentences, okay, according to the structure, according to the clauses we use. and the connectors. Okay, a simple sentence, Lori walked the dog, is a clause. Okay, it does not contain more than one clause. But you can have a long, simple sentences. If I say, for example, Lori walked the dog in the morning, or at 8 a.m. in the morning. At 8 a.m. in the morning, you don't have a subject and verbs. You just have these adverb phrases for you to talk about place, time, and way of doing things. You see? So you can make a sentence, a simple sentence, very long. But in this case, I would like to focus your attention to how you can write compound sentences. For example, compound complex sentences and complex sentences. Okay? If you have one sentence where you use coordination, Lori walked the dog, but she did not put the leash on its collar, so it ran away from her. You see that each one of the clauses here, they are independent clauses. Okay? They are independent clauses, and they are connected by the coordinating conjunctions but and so. You see? One independent clause. She did not put the leash in its collar. It ran away from her. All of them are independent clauses. So this is compound sentence. A compound sentence. We use coordination to write compound sentences. Let's look at the other example. Lori walked the dog when she had free time in the afternoon. When she had free time in the afternoon means a subordination. It's not complete. If you separate it from Lori walked the dog, it doesn't make sense. People, the listener expects you to complete the meaning. So there's an independent clause, Lori walked the dog, and there's an independent clause, when she had free time in the afternoon. So there's subordination, and it is a complex sentence. If you hear a complex sentence, it doesn't mean the sentence is long. Okay? I love it when you pay attention to me. It's a short sentence. It's a relatively short sentence, but it is a complex sentence, grammatically speaking. Okay? You may have a simple sentence which is longer than a complex one. What makes it complex is that there is subordination. One other type of sentences is this one, where you have a dependent clause. If your dog unleashes, throw it a frisbee, and it will bring it back to you. Okay? So we have a dependent clause, an independent clause, another independent clause. So let's say that throw it a frisbee and ask it to bring it back. There's coordination here, but there's a subordination at the beginning. If your dog unleashes, throw it a frisbee and ask it to bring it back. Then you have coordination and subordination in the same sentence. 3 ideas. Okay, to express a complete thought with details and everything, but you have coordination and subordination. So it is a compound complex sentence. Okay? Now we have a couple of exercises here, and as always, I make the first one. Okay, the easiest one, so that you go complete the other exercises. Television is a medium that is now universal, and they're asking you to write the subordinate clause or clauses from each sentence. Television is a medium that is now universal. That is a subject, is a verb. You see, there's another verb here. That is a subject, is a verb, now universal. So is now universal is a predicate, and that is a subject. That is now universal is the subordinate clause, and that is called that clause. Okay, that is now universal, functions as an adjective clause for medium. Alright, because it identifies medium. Go ahead, complete all the exercises, and then we'll discuss the answers to these exercises. Let's see next one. I think there's another exercise. Okay, as always, the first one. Copy the sentences and underline the main clauses once and the subordinate clauses twice. So the subordinate clause must be underlined twice here. We wondered when the speech would end. We wondered is the independent part of the sentence, and when the speech would end is the subordinate clause. Okay? And this answers the question what we wondered. Okay? We wondered when the speech would end. So it's a noun clause. Okay, it might be tricky because it uses when, and it might be taken by an adverb clause talking about time, but what happens is that it is a noun clause because it answers to the question what we wonder. Because if we consider it to be an adverb, then the speech would end would be the subordination, and that is not correct. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you.